Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the about to be rainy Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what the narcissist uses to keep you stuck. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So the narcissist, they were keeping you stuck when you were in that relationship. They were keeping you stuck when the relationship ended. Perhaps right now they're still keeping you stuck in some capacity. This is what the narcissist does. They weaponize anything they can against you, and they use people against you, and they use things that you used to enjoy. Example, your hobbies, your time, your car, your purpose, your job, everything about you they will weaponize against you. And when the narcissist gets as much from you as they want to take, they will try their best to keep you stuck also, which is why when these relationships end, they usually end out of left field. They end with a thud, a crash, and a bang, which means you're not expecting it. And when that happens, you are left reeling, you're left holding the bag. You don't know what happened because you weren't taught Narcissism 101 in school. And this is when the narcissist, again, wanted to keep you stuck. You see, this is what they do. They want to matter in your mind. They want to live in your mind rent-free. Now, when I say that, I don't A, say it lightly, but B, they don't want you necessarily thinking good things about them. Many times they want you thinking not good things about them. What the narcissist wants you to do is they want you to be doubting yourself, to be questioning yourself, to be wondering, could you have done more? Should you have done more? Would you have done more? Have they changed? Did they actually love you? Did they ever care about you? Was it just a dream? Was it a nightmare? Did that relationship really take place? What happened to 1, 2, 3, 20 years of my life? This is what the narcissist does. So many things that the narcissist does, they want to keep you stuck on purpose. Here are a few examples. Let's say you are trying to divorce the narcissist. Well, you now know that's not going to go swimmingly. The court case or the legality systems or the child custody or the 401k, etc., they're going to be dragged out because the narcissist wants to play the long game with you. They want to play the waiting game with you. They don't want you to get anything from the settlement. They want to get everything and more. And when you're trying to negotiate with the narcissist, you may not have known this, but they are already 3 steps ahead of you. Until when? Until they're not. And when they're not, that's when you get the wisdom and you figure out what kind of relationship you were in and how you have to handle these types of people. But divorcing the narcissist is a whole different series. It's a very challenging experience to go through that because this is when the mask officially slipped, but this time you've seen the beach ball blackness of their pupils. You've seen the dilation of their pupils. You've seen that they actually didn't care about you. They had disdain for you. Yes, they did. They never loved you, and they don't care one bit about you or your future or anything about you. They just want to take. And that's another thing the narcissist wants to do. They want to take, and when they're done, what do they want to do? That's right, they want to take more. So divorcing the narcissist is one way. That's how they want to keep you stuck. Think about the court system, the legal system, in whatever jurisdiction you're in. Does everything go on a perfect, appropriate timeline? No. Usually there are delays, there are stays, there are papers that the narcissist doesn't turn in. There are excuses. Example, maybe they had an injury or hurt their elbow or something. You see, the narcissist, this is what they need. They need disruption. They need people stuck and trapped. They need people trying their best to give in. That's what the narcissist wants. What you don't do, and I certainly didn't do, is you don't give in. This is why each and every day I create a video to pay it forward, to have you realize that if you are stuck, you will get unstuck. And again, I created that video in 2022, how to get unstuck when you're stuck. And it's a very, very quick video, but it's a way to illustrate that this is your life. It's a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And the narcissist has done anything they possibly could to keep you stuck. So that's divorcing the narcissist. I just barely touched on that. Another one is with the children. Let's say you shared children with them. Well, are they going to want to have 50-50 custody? Probably not. But then again, in the legal system, the narcissist is going to claim that they are the parent of the year. They are anything but that. But they don't want you to raise the children properly. See, they're trying to keep you stuck. What about the third-party apps that perhaps you had to use, or maybe you're still using to communicate with the narcissist on child custody, etc.? Well, those things, well, you would be texting or responding or getting the narcissist caught up with information as to what you're doing when you're raising the children or when it's your time to have the children. What would the narcissist be doing? Well, to the third-party app, maybe they're speaking appropriately, kindly, because they know they're being watched. They know there's a bigger audience than just you. But then get off that third-party app. Well, if they still have access to you, and they shouldn't, but if they do, well, then they could be blowing up your phone or sending you emails about how negative you are or nasty you are or blaming you, etc. See, this is what the narcissist does. They want to keep people stuck. Let's talk about money for a moment. Let's say that you had a great job. And let's say that the narcissist, again, it could be a romantic interest. Maybe it was a sibling or somebody, a parent. Well, let's say you had a great job. Well, maybe this person who you're considering was bleeding you dry from your financial resources. And you had a nice nest egg saved up and for retirement, etc., or you were planning on buying that house or whatever it was. And then lo and behold, this person comes across your path, or they drop you an email or call you, whoever it is, or whoever you're considering, and then they stick out their hand and they say, hey, can you send me some dollars? I need some help. And it's not just $100 or $200. They're asking for maybe you to buy them a new car, or to put their kid through university or something, or they can't pay the bills and the mortgage, just help them out for a couple months, which turns into a couple years. Whatever they wanted to do, they want to keep you stuck. So what happens when you're financially supporting someone who turns out to be your worst enemy or your worst nightmare, i.e. the narcissist? Well, now your bank account is becoming more and more diminished. It's dwindling. You're not going to have that money you wanted to have for your retirement. You can't buy the beach home. You probably can't even afford your insurance payments or your mortgage right now, and all that money went out the window to someone who doesn't care about you. They only cared about the deep pockets that you had, or the good job, or the financial freedom that you had earned. This is what the narcissist does. They want to keep people stuck. Think about the ending of the relationship, when it ended. When it ended and you did not know what narcissism was, because I'm certain that you didn't, but when that happened, you didn't know what had just hit you. It was like a freight train, and you were trying to figure out why you can't sleep, why you can't eat, why you don't want to get out of bed, why you can't function at work properly, etc. The reason for all these things is because you didn't know what you know now, and you didn't realize that this is the relationship that you need to heal from, and you didn't realize that this would really alter your life. It would change the trajectory of your life, and it would do something to you that you did not even know was possible on this planet. Once you've healed, it will change your perspective on humanity. You will see humanity the way it is, not the way you wanted to see it, and certainly not the way the narcissist painted it for you. But having said this, when the relationship ended, you had to put yourself back together. You had to crack the code, find the needle in a haystack, and you had to really slow your life down and process things. When you were doing that, you, at that time, I can assure you, because I was one of these people, you were still stuck because you wanted to get through the healing path. You wanted the healing to be over. You didn't want to wake up one more night ruminating, or one more morning ruminating. You didn't want to have to be listening to a song on the radio or Spotify or whatever and have it remind you of the narcissist. You didn't want to have to open the cupboard of the pantry and see what was left behind, maybe a couple packages of something. You didn't want to open the refrigerator and see what was left behind. You didn't want to have to go in the closet and see what was left behind. You didn't want to do any of those things, but you had to. See, this is why also that you believed you were stuck, and I was too. That's why when you're healing, nobody, and I mean nobody, can put a timeline on the healing path. There's not one person on the planet that has ever existed that could tell you when you're going to heal. The healing path is a direct correlation contingent upon how much work you place into yourself. That's what I had to find out, and that's what you're finding out. But post-relationship, many times you still think you're stuck. How about this one? Say you are healing. You've been healing for quite a while. Say the relationship ended a year, 2, 3, 5 years ago, and then all of a sudden something triggers you, or something reminds you of something from the past, and perhaps it sets you back. Well, what does that mean? That just means there's more work to be done. Now, do you have to go back to zero and start all over again? No, but you have some work to be done, because if you were triggered, that means there's still healing that you must go through. What that is exactly, I can't tell you right now, but I can assure you that if something triggered you, that means there's still work to be done. Now, I've said that 3 times. Post-relationship, again, when you believe you're stuck, think about this. What about your car payment? Many times the narcissist has your car under their name, or their car under your name, vice versa, whatever it is, and you're still tethered to them via the car, meaning perhaps insurance, perhaps the loan, etc., or whatever it was, the title. This is a way that you may think is not such a big deal. It's a huge deal. There are so many people trying to break the tethers and the chains of the narcissistic relationship, and they're still bound by one thing. Yeah, it's a car, or it's an apartment, or it's a condo, or it's a boat, or it's a dog. It could be a pet. That's another huge one. These are all huge. I'm giving you different illustrations to realize that we are all on the healing path, headed in the same direction, simply taking different footsteps. I may be 100 yards in front of you. You may be a quarter mile in front of me. It doesn't matter. We're all on the path. We're all learning. We're all growing. We're all teaching if we can. We are all becoming educated and awakened and empowered and enlightened. Now, all those things I'm mentioning to you, there's always going to be something until there isn't that will upset you or trigger you or make you feel like you're stuck. So example, let's use a pet. Let's say that you shared a pet with the narcissist, or they gave you a pet, or vice versa, whatever it was. Well, now you're thinking about the pet and you want to save the pet or help the pet out. The narcissist knew that way before they gave you the pet or they bought the pet for you or whatever happened, because the narcissist doesn't care about pets. They don't care about people. They don't care about anything other than themselves. But they knew that you had a heart. They knew that you were an empath, a kind, loving, stable, healthy person. So they used the pet as leverage against you. Now, there are so many thousands upon hundreds of thousands of layers of the onion to be peeled back, but the many ways the narcissist will keep you stuck. I just mentioned the pets. I mentioned money to a degree. I'll talk about that again in a second. Divorcing, children, etc. Again, what about money? Well, what about this one? Let's say that you loaned the narcissist money, or you went into business with them, one of the two, and they said, yeah, sure, I'll pay you back at X period of time. Well, that period of time came and went and you didn't see a penny. Well, then you're waiting for the money to be repaid. Well, that never happened again. And what happened? Well, maybe you had to reach out to the narcissist through a lawyer or something, because my hope is you've gone no contact and blocked the narcissist. But anyway, somehow through the legal avenues, you probably reached out to the narcissist. And what did they do? Probably nothing. Why? Because they think they're above the law. They think that whatever money you loan them or whatever business you went into them or whatever financial tie there was, it's their money and that you gave it to them. They don't see it the way it happened. They see it the way they want to see it, which is why they paint any narrative the way they want to paint it. They don't live in reality. They live in their own reality, and their own reality changes on a dime. That's why anybody, and I mean anybody, who thinks they can stay in a narcissistic relationship and stay 1, 2, 3, 5 steps ahead of the narcissist, you're wrong. Never going to happen. You can try. You can think you can outsmart them. You can think that you can know what they're going to do. You can try and predict whatever's going to happen. But you know what that's going to do? A, it's going to keep you stuck. B, you will still be experiencing toxicity. C, whatever you think they're going to do, they're going to do the opposite. And even if you predict what they're going to do 1 out of 100 times, it doesn't matter. You're still in the proximity, the vicinity, the area, the energy field of the narcissist. And they know that. That's why you need to get out of the vicinity, out of the proximity, out of the mindset of the narcissist. You need to get as far and as fast as you possibly can away from these people, because the narcissist doesn't change. They don't elevate, they don't ascend, they don't grow. They don't look within themselves. What they do is they blame everybody and anybody for anything they want to. And once they blame somebody, they're going to blame someone else for something different. And down the road, they may say, no, I never said that. I blamed somebody else. But notice one common denominator, and there are millions of them with these toxic narcissistic people. One is they never take responsibility. They never take accountability. They can't say these words: I was wrong, I apologize, I didn't mean to do that. Now, they can mimic the words I just shared, but you could tell that I'm an empath and I'm a kind, loving, stable person just like you are. I can feel things. The narcissist can't, and they know it. So they can fake it. They can mimic back those words, but do they mean them? No, they're just trying to keep people stuck. And this is how the narcissist keeps you stuck. How about your mind or your mindset? The narcissist wants to live in your mind, like I shared with you earlier. And they don't really care, to be honest, if it's a positive mindset you're thinking about them or a negative one. I believe that they would prefer you to be thinking about them in the good days and the happy days and the love bomb and all that, but it doesn't really matter. Any way you cut it, when you are ruminating or when you're thinking about the narcissist, when you're healing, you are thinking about the good times, but you're also having to remind yourself of the not good times. And that's why I suggest, and I have been doing this for years on the channel, is if the relationship ended recently, or maybe you want to do a refresher, you should get out a sheet of paper and a pen and write down the pro-con list about the narcissistic relationship. The pro parts are the benefits, the good things about it, if there were any. And the negative ones are the cons. And you may need a couple sheets of paper, maybe a couple tablets for that, but you should really be authentic with yourself and honest and write down the pro-con list about the relationship. You will find out that it is not what you thought it was. It's what it was. It was a life-threatening, taxing, challenging, debilitating relationship where you were what? That's right, you were stuck. And this is how the narcissist wanted to keep you. So again, when you're healing, when you're understanding what's going on, the narcissist knows what they're doing. They have been doing this long before they met you. They're doing it right now with somebody else or other people, and they did it with you. They didn't think that you would ever figure it out. You are one of the fortunate ones. You're one of the resilient ones. You're one of the courageous ones, and one of the people that's full of fortitude and strength. You did crack the code. And now you need to understand that going no contact will benefit you. Yes, it's gonna sting for a while, and yes, it's gonna not feel good, but you have to go no contact, because most likely the narcissist isn't gonna go no contact. And even if they do go no contact and block you, etc., ahead of time, you should still block them no matter what, to insulate and protect yourself, because you should know nothing about the narcissist. Not where they are, what they're doing, who they're with, or anything. I understand it's gonna take time, it's the healing path. But the narcissist, flip it, should know nothing about you. Not your hair color, who you're dating, where you're going on vacation, and what you're doing, what books you're reading, etc. But these are all parts of the healing path. That's why many times when you are healing, I'm talking post-relationship now, you feel like you're stuck. You feel like you're making a lot of progress, and then boom, something will set you backwards. Well, that means that there is more work ahead for you to be doing. This is what happens each and every day. So frequently people believe, oh, I've done it. I know all the terms. I know all the definitions. I know the behaviors. I know everything. I get it all. And then sure enough, what will happen? Well, they'll still feel like they're stuck. An example here would be perhaps one of these people, or these people go out on a dating app thinking that they're better than ever, and they go out and they can't be present with the person they're dating. They can be physically there, but they're still thinking about the narcissist. So why do you think that would happen? You got it, because there's work to be done. The healing path is not linear. It will take time. It will take a lot of time. But in your time, you will heal if you utilize the tools that are provided for you with each and every video I create, and with all the beautiful comments from all over the world on each and every video I create. Because we are the collective. We are the people who are healing. We are the people who have become the educated empaths. We are rising through the fire like a phoenix, and we are putting ourselves back together piece by piece, day by day, week by week, etc. You see, we were tested, and we were tested to our core, and there were many times when we were stuck, and we actually knew it. There were many times that we were healing, and we thought we were further along than we really were, and then we got stuck again. And then there were times then there was a time, and this is how I'm living my life now, and my hope is this is where you are, but if you're not there yet, you will be. When you're not stuck, you're in a great space. Your mind is crystal clear. You see humanity the way it is, not the way you saw it before. You see the world the way it is, not the way the narcissist wanted you to see it. And now you've had the sleepless nights. You've experienced perhaps the dark night of the soul. You had life-threatening days, example January 6, 2021, for myself, that is. And you put yourself back together. But what did you do along the way, along the healing path? 1, you didn't quit. 2, you didn't stop. 3, you were craving the knowledge. 4, you realized that you would be stuck here and there, but that you would get through it. Number 5, you realize that the sun will rise tomorrow, because it always does. Just like here in this beautiful Carolina setting that I have, there's a thunderstorm all around me. But is tomorrow the sun gonna rise? Absolutely it will. Is it gonna shine? Yes, it will. Do I shine each and every day like the beautiful, bright, shining light that I am? Yes, I do. You do too. We need to get you to where I am, and perhaps you are where I am, and I hope you are. But in the meantime, if you feel like you're still stuck, or if you're still ruminating or still getting triggered, there is more work to be done. I've shared this with you multiple times during this video so far. I'm going to say it again. You can't rush the healing path. You can't fake the healing path. You can't wish that the healing path didn't exist. You can't just get an eraser and block out what happened to you when you were in that relationship. You need to accept what happened, although you didn't want to go through it, but acknowledge that you did go through it. This is now part of your history. It's part of your fingerprint, it's part of your DNA, and it's part of your life. And you need to now take all that energy that you are expending on the narcissist, or spending on them, all the focus, all the time, all the empathy, all the money, all the love, everything that you were doing for them, and you need to put that back into you. That is how you heal. Healing will take time. Healing will take commitment. Healing will take focus. It will take determination, resilience, and fortitude. And it will take purpose. But healing can only be done by you, for you, to benefit you. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can A, tell you when to heal, B, has a magic pill or a magic wand that can make all this go away, or C, has all of the answers. Please play that part of the video again and play it a few times. We are all human beings on this planet called Earth. We all have separate skill sets. We all can do certain things, and other people can do different things. That's what makes you unique. It's what makes me unique. But when it comes to narcissistic abuse and healing, we are all on that healing path. Each and every day, we're all taking steps moving forward. Now, yes, along the healing path, specifically in the early to middle days, there will be times when you feel like you're stuck. I felt the same way. There will be times when the narcissist is still trying to sabotage your life by threatening you or sending you a nasty email or parental alienating you or using the lawyers and making up complete fabrications or sending in flying monkeys to tell you how nasty you are, or turning your electricity off, or cutting your cell phone off, or making drive-bys your house and seeing if your lights are on. No, I'm not trying to trigger you. No, I'm not trying to upset you. See, the narcissist does many of the things that they claim that you were doing, but what they do is they'll never take accountability. Let's talk about stalking on social media for a moment. Yes, you probably peeked at the narcissist's social media when you were healing. Most of us did. Did that serve you? Never served you once. What did it do? It set you backwards. It kept you stuck, because when you were peeking at the social media of the narcissist, whether you were married to them or not, doesn't matter, you were still living in the past. You were still wondering what they looked like, what they were doing, who they were with, why you weren't there with them, etc. Now, this is all raw and it's not fun to say, but it's true. When you stop peeking at the social media of the narcissist, when you stop making phantom accounts and taking a quick peek, then you start to heal. When you are still looking at their social media or wanting to collect information about them, about their whereabouts, who they're with, what they're doing, etc., that means you still have work to do, because your energy is not going where it needs to be going. It's not going into you. It's still going into the toxic, parasitical creature, the narcissist. This is what the narcissist does. So flip it. Was the narcissist spying on your social media and peeking at you? Probably. Did they do it directly? Possibly. Did they have flying monkeys doing it? Absolutely. There were more eyes on you when you were in that relationship than had ever been on you in your entire life. I don't care what profession you are. I don't care what you've done in your life. You had so many people watching you and observing you and reporting back to the narcissist that it would blow your mind if you knew how many people that was. It was a lot of people. That includes their own children, your children, extended family members, neighbors, colleagues, coworkers, business associates, people in hobby groups, communities. That's not even counting anything on the narcissist side and everybody in between, because most of these people were drinking the Kool-Aid the narcissist was pouring. Most of these people were believing the smear campaign. Most of these people were believing that the narcissist was the kind, loving, stable person, and you were the challenging person or the person that was not a good human being. This is all by design at the hands of the narcissist. So what the narcissist uses to keep you stuck, they use children, they use pets, they use money, they use the legal system, they use the divorce, they use the divorce court, they use social media, they use email, they use texting, they use flying monkeys, enablers. They will use anything they possibly can. And that's not even counting removing the narcissist. Watch this. Say that you moved. There's removing the narcissist. Say you moved and you're healing and you've been out of the relationship for a period of time. Well, you still have to do everything I'm talking about and more, because you still have to get the narcissist out of your mind. And that is where they want to stay stuck. The narcissist wants to stay stuck in your mind. Why do you think the narcissist hoovers? I've shared this so frequently, specifically in this calendar year. The narcissist hoovers because they are trying to stay relevant in your mind. They are trying to keep you trapped. They do not want you to advance. They do not want you to grow. They do not want you to elevate, and they do not want you to cut all four ties from them, which include the emotional, financial, physical, and spiritual tie. That's why the narcissist hoovers. It's a big temperature test or pulse check on you. Have you healed? Have you seen behind the mask? Have you gone no contact? Are you open to communicating with them? Are you open to reading the email or the message? The whole point here is the narcissist knows what they're doing. They want to keep people stuck. They will use any avenue they possibly can. And the narcissist is the weak one. You are the strong one. You, as I mentioned earlier, you're the beautiful, bright, shining light. The narcissist is the toxic person. The narcissist is the person who needs people. They need to be needed. They need to keep people stuck and trapped and tricked and manipulated in that dungeon of horrors, in that zombie-like, trance-like state, which is the narcissistic fog. This is what they did with you. It's what they did with me, and it's what they're doing with other people right now. But once the narcissist gets in a relationship with somebody, they believe they own them forever. And that's not true. It's not even close to true. That's how pathetic the mindset of the narcissist is. They believe that we, human beings, are Ken dolls and Barbie dolls, and they can collect us and put us up on a shelf and take us down and play with us whenever they want to. Well, That's not reality. Reality is the narcissist has a twisted view of everything, a twisted perspective of reality. And they, in their tiny little pea brain, believe they are superior. No one will ever figure them out. No one will ever be strong enough to go no contact, and no one will heal. Well, you've done all of those things, or you're doing them, meaning gone no contact, healed, figured them out, and maintained no contact, etc. So before I close the video, I'll share this. What the narcissist uses to keep you stuck, it's anything they can do, anything they can utilize to stay in your mind. It can be anything. That was lightning. It can be anything. They could leave a coffee mug back in your apartment or house from 10 years ago. They could leave a spoon in a drawer that you open up and you thought you cleaned out all the toxicity that they left behind, and there's a spoon in a drawer. They could leave nice one. They could leave an old smelly shoe up in the attic. They could leave a note that was meant for you to find in a drawer, but the note was written 6 months ago. They could leave anything. And why do they leave these things behind? Yes, it's to keep you stuck. Think about this. Before I close the video, and I love these thunderstorms, but before I close the video, think about this. Any relationship you had before you met the narcissist, whenever it ended, and let's say that it was a friend or whatever it was, romantic, whatever it was, but any of those relationships, when they ended, usually the person who you're considering, they grabbed all of their gear, whatever it was, and they went and they moved somewhere else and they began living their life, whatever they were going to do. But they didn't leave things behind on purpose. They didn't leave notes. They didn't leave cryptic messages. They weren't stalking you. They weren't trying to hoover you. They weren't trying to draw you back in. They weren't trying to keep you stuck. You need to understand that this is your life. The narcissist did their best to take you down for the count. They did their best to keep you stuck, tricked, and trapped. But now you've cracked the code. Now you realize that, wait, there is a lot wrong with this person, an awful lot wrong. And I had no idea people could do this. I didn't know people could behave this way. I didn't know people could fake love, fake empathy, and fake caring. And once the money ran out, so did that person. But not only did they just leave, they twisted the knife and they wanted to stay living in my mind so I would stay tethered to them. That's what the narcissist does. That's why you need to cut the ties. That's why you need to realize that closing every avenue of communication with this person as soon as you possibly can, and healing properly is the path. The path is not to be peeking at social media, not to be driving by the narcissist's house or the new supplies house, not to be wondering where they are, who they're with, what they're doing, not to be thinking that they do love you and they did care about you, and not romancing or fantasizing or romanticizing, I should say, about the good times that you had. Did you have good times? Sure you did. But as I mentioned earlier, get that pen and paper out and write down the pro-con list. How many really good times did you have? And was the narcissist actually with you? Not physically, but I'm talking mentally when they were with you? Probably not. They were probably checked out, just punching a clock, trying to keep you stuck so they could go off to the new supplier, do whatever they were going to do. This is why these people, i.e. the narcissists, are stuck in a loop. And that's why they want to keep people like you or myself stuck also. They don't want us breaking the ties. They don't want us healing. They don't want us finding our true calling, our purpose, our moonshot, and our mission. They wanted to take us off our path. And they accomplished that for a period of time until when? That's right, until they couldn't. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing this one from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And this thunderstorm, it's flying around me. I was actually hoping it was going to be directly over me. But I hope you enjoyed some of the thunder and a little bit of the lightning, etc. And from myself to you, I want to give you a big virtual hug, a huge virtual hug to let you know that you're doing great. Focus on yourself. Control what you can control. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Realize that in the past you were stuck, but you got through it. Realize that perhaps you will get stuck again, but you will get through it. This healing path that we are all on, it's a journey. It is a marathon. Yes, I know I said that twice. But having said that, there will be times when you're going to take setbacks. There are times when you will get an unexpected trigger. There will be times when you think you're stronger than you are, and you'll have to come back down to earth and realize, no, I have more work to be done. There will be times when you would think that you could fool yourself into believing that you're strong enough to go back out and start dating, or to go to that barbecue or whatever it was. And then you will attend and you realize, wait, I shouldn't be doing that. Something's wrong. Something's off. Well, it's because you have to heal more. So don't force, don't rush the healing path. Allow it to enter you. Allow the toxicity to leave your veins and to leave your energy field. And the longer you stay in the spaces of healing, the more stronger you will get, or the stronger you will get, and the more the toxicity will leave your energy field. And eventually one day you will go no contact, and eventually one day you will realize that this was real, it wasn't a dream. And you will also realize that yes, the narcissist did their best to keep you stuck, but not just for the length of that relationship, for a lot longer. But you broke the ties, you cut the cords, and you severed everything from that dark energy force. That's what you must do if you haven't. So we all get stuck here and there. I was no different. That's why I created that video in 2022, maybe even 2021, about when you're stuck, how to get unstuck, because that's what I had to do too. And I know a lot more now than I did 4 years ago. I love you all. God bless you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.